Oh, I see it live on Facebook.
Here we go. Right place, right time. Everything's coming together.
Thumbs up. I see the video.
Great. So we're super excited. This is our first time having a guest outside of the company, and we picked the guest with the mostest, our good friend Andrew Thornton from Allegory Gallery. Hi, Andrew.
Hello. Hi.
Hi, Andrew.
Hello.
I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for being here with us.
It's nice to see you all. Usually we see each other at shows and things like that, so it's nice to have this little point of connection.
Yeah, I know. I've been thinking a lot about how I can connect with people in this new world that we're living in. And we stopped doing beach shows, I think sometime last year was our last beach show, and we decided it just wasn't a good fit for us anymore. So I'm happy in some ways that the pandemic has created these spaces where we can meet online, whether it's our, Facebook group, or now this new option of being able to Zoom with my friends and bead in real time. So it's pretty fun. What are you guys doing at Allegory Gallery, in light of the pandemic to, create those spaces for people to interact?
I will say that I missed the Hawaii show that you guys used to do.
Yeah.
That was my favorite show.
I never even got there.
Oh no, that was like the best show ever.
Me. I know. I always hear that.
There was these
Someday,
windows.
Kristen, you and I will go to Hawaii and just have fun. No beach show involved.
We could have our own beach show.
Or just bead meetup. Yeah, just beading for fun.
We can go see Jamie and Jason over at the Bead Gallery there.
Yeah, they do have some good bead stores over there, and a really big beading community. I miss that show too. Is that the show you missed the most, or what show do you think you missed the most?
I love that show, and I of course love Tucson because everybody's together in Bead and Button. The Bead and Button has changed a lot over the years, so it's not quite as big. But to go back to your original question, you had asked about what kinds of things have we done to create spaces for our customers and supporters in the time of pandemic. So we do a lot of things, actually. So we do Facebook groups, which are really a great way of keeping in touch with people. We still do.
What are your Facebook groups?
We have the regular
page. Thomas link to them,
which is a regular Allegory Gallery page. And then I started a D-Stash page probably 10 years ago. And we use that as kind of our beta test site. And it's a close-knit group of friends who just hang out, and usually every Thursday night. And we have an adult beverage and share talking time.
Nice.
So it is good.
That's nice.
But we do a lot of things, like a lot of stuff with outreach, with social media. So we're really more aggressive with how we go out into Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, and so
you have to be. Good. I mean, that's really the only way to reach people at this point. Do you still have any foot traffic coming into the store? So to back up a little bit, Andrew is one of the owners of Allegory Gallery, which is an actual physical store in Ligonier. Is that the right pronunciation? Okay,
Ligonier.
you have to say that.
Ligonier. Ligonier.
Whatever it is, Pennsylvania.
Ligonier, Pennsylvania. So if you're not familiar with Ligonier, Pennsylvania, lovely Ligonier, we are a really small town. We are only about 1,500 people in the direct borough, and then we've got about 6,000 in the township. So we're a really small community.
Really small.
But we're a bedroom community. I mean, that my high school had like 2,000 people in it. That's more than the population of the whole town.
Yeah.
And so, and I think I could be even lowballing that. But anyways, so we're a bedroom community to Pittsburgh, which is about an hour west of us. And we're really close to about 45 minutes to Frank Lloyd Wright's Falling Water. And so there's a lot of like natural beauty around here. People used to, and they still do, live here in town and then commute to Pittsburgh or the satellite communities of Pittsburgh. And it's a really nice little slice of Americana, which I really love. It's, you know, I never heard of Ligonier before we came here.
That's how I feel about my town too.
You know, where are you based out of?
I'm in Benicia, California, but my town's more like 35,000 people, so it's not quite so small, but it's still very cute, and it's on the edge of the Bay Area, so it's not something I had heard of or been to or even thought about before we bought a house. But now that I'm here, I really, really love it.
That must be nice to be close, but not directly in it.
It is, yeah. We're along the strait that feeds into the bay, so we're right by the water. So there's like natural little like river beaches, kind of, and it's just a really cute little kind of artsy community of like 35,000 people and lots of families, and it's a really cute little space. But we're still like a ferry ride away from San Francisco, and I can go to the office in Sonoma, and it makes it a handy space. It's so funny how you end up somewhere that you've never heard of, though, isn't it?
Well, it's funny because there are all these connections to where I used to live in Florida. So around us, Mr. Rogers, he grew up in a town called Latrobe, which is about 12 minutes away. And he had a house near where I lived in Florida. And the same was Arnold Palmer. So it's pretty weird.
Connections. Yeah.
But like one day I was at the shop and I was just minding my own business, greeting people and doing shop things. And this family came in and they're like, I know you. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, is your name Andrew? And I'm like, yes. And he's like, I know you. And I was like, oh, good. Well, I've been on TV and there's books and magazines and all kinds of stuff.
Right.
And he was like, no, we went to high school together. And then as soon as he said that, it kind of clicked into place. Several years later, a baby and a wife and a beard, you look a little bit different.
Right.
It's like, oh, we sat next to each other in anatomy class. So him and his family ended up living in this area, which is kind of wild.
Interesting.
That's another connection. That's
this tiny little town.
That's really neat. Well, I have a few people here that want to say hi. If you want to take a second, we've got M. Jane on. Hi, M. Jane. Willow is here. Katrina. Hi. Thomas is with us. Hi, Kim, and Rosanna is here too. Donna says hello, and hello to Andrew. Terry says hello all. Susie's here. Sherry. Oh, there's so many of you guys. It's really nice. Good. There's like,
oh, good.
Yeah, wonderful. I'm glad everyone found us today. We're really excited to have Andrew from Allegory Gallery here. Okay, so Palinka says, wow, I never knew you had a show out in Hawaii. So yeah, we used to do that for many, many, many years. And I never went.
Oh no. We won't rub
Stop bringing it up, people.
Seriously.
It was wonderful. It was right along the beach.
Wonderful. I've never even been to Hawaii at all.
Oh, she's gonna have a chip on her shoulder all week now. Thanks, guys.
Seriously.
You're welcome, Sarah.
Okay. Well, Andrew, we would love to take a quick tour of your store. And if you could give us even some more background information about what it is that you do there, we would love to hear. And then many of the things that you sell in the store, you also have online. Is that correct?
No, not correct.
Oh, okay. Not correct. Okay, well, fill us in on that portion of it too.
And that was a direct correlation to the pandemic. So before the pandemic, we tried to stock our online store with as much stuff as possible. We thought that the more options, the better. And we just wanted to fill it up as much as possible. But when we looked at our numbers and we tracked our Google Analytics, we realized that people would look at the first couple pages, and they would also look at things that we directly breadcrumbed to those items. So we would have an incredibly slow website with thousands and thousands of products and hundreds of pages worth of products. And nobody was looking at them. And it was taking a lot of time to maintain that. Plus, we're a really small store, so we couldn't really keep
put everything.
The dual stock, because we have a physical location that people actually come in. And then we had an online store, and we had thousands of dollars worth of merchandise that was just sitting there. So what we decided to do was to switch to a more user-friendly shopping platform, which we moved to Shopify. And we also decided to, instead of offering everything that we do at the store, we would offer a carefully curated selection that we would do most of our tie-in marketing. So that way, if we talked about something live on our Facebook that we do regularly, then it would directly link to that. But other than that, we just kind of keep things fresh, and we're rotating things. So we started doing a thing that we do weekly. It's called Andrew's Picks. And so I have to go do that for the week. And so
are you watching that, Kristen?
I'm watching Andrew's Picks, and it's a lot of fun. I have enjoyed I just kind of got turned on to it a few weeks ago. So I've been enjoying seeing your picks, Andrew.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to have to check that out. Well,
they're just things that were around the store that I think just didn't get love. Like, I love ancient Roman glass, and people, they'd see it and they'd be like, well, whatever, that's $45 a strand, I'm looking more of the $2 range, whatever. That's not the customer for that, but I love it so much. There's such a,
there's somebody out there that's going to love it too. Yeah.
And so we wanted to kind of do that mindfully and kind of curate kind of, the things that I love. It's kind of how you guys do the stuff from Mike's collection, where, you may not have a million of something, but they're really like little special treasures.
He really loves that stuff too.
Yeah.
He's so sad to sell it, and sometimes, but we're slowly working through some of it. I got to go into his bead room like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think it was 3 weeks ago now. And he has a treasure trove of Gary Wilson pieces that are like amazing. I mean, really like ridiculous, Andrew. And we went through a ton of them. We have a bunch more to go through still, but they're going to go into some live sales coming up. But so he was having a very hard time.
Faces, put them aside for me.
We might actually. I feel like we might. I'll have to look again, but I will.
Because Gary, really he used to do some really wild, like sculptural stuff, and then he does more kind of, less labor-intensive carvings than he used to do. And I always regretted not getting more of those little faces.
It's so funny the things you take for granted in the moment because you don't realize that it's like a fleeting moment and
yes,
it's gone. It's gone. You're like, what happened?
And they'll
why
haunt
didn't
you
I
for
just
the rest of your life.
Why didn't I just buy all those beads?
I have several.
You'll never regret buying too many beads, right? Eventually you'll get to them all.
Mike doesn't. No.
2002 in Tucson, there was this strand of amazing tourmaline beads. It was only $12. And I was like, oh, I'll come back.
2002. You're still thinking about it?
I've thinking got a about list. It. Fixated.
Kristen had that with the something at the African Village. She made me go back next year. I was like, you've been thinking about this for a year?
What was it?
Yeah. Well, you know how the African Village has all of those beautiful baskets. They've got a gazillion baskets. And I walked away not grabbing one, and I really regret. I thought about it as I was driving home from Tucson. Why didn't I get that? And the whole year I waited to go back, and I bought a couple when I went back the next year because I could not stop thinking about it. And it's just so those kind of things. That's the stuff you really, really want, right? When it just doesn't leave you, you just keep wishing you would have picked it up at the time.
Yeah.
I definitely think that it. Okay.
Oh, go ahead. Well, I was going to say, take us on a tour.
I'll do it. But I think that if you see something and you like it, get it, because, like you said, sometimes when you were lucky, they had that. When I went back in Tucson in 2003, they didn't have that.
No, they didn't have the tourmaline anymore. Yeah.
And they were like, "Sorry, price went up," and I was like, "Oh, that's definitely not my budget now." Let's flip this around. All right. So currently we're in the back room. And this is a classroom space for us, but we have cards, tools. If you don't know, my sister is Cynthia from Green Girl Studios, and she has her paper dolls here. And we grew up making those. There's some of my artwork in card format, and we also have some prints back here. And then I also have these, we have a laser, which we'll probably talk about later. So I like to do inspirational quotes, and these are the ones that I have right now. There's a really good one from Maya Angelou, who's one of my favorites, and then one from Rumi. And then we also bought out a gift store, and there's these cool ethnographic masks. That's Garuda, the one that looks like a kind of a bird creature.
Those are awesome.
Thanks. And then we have some things over there. And we have some books and some silk. So that's our classroom space. Oh, and I got this, I think yesterday, and it was free on the side of the road. And somebody called us and they said that they saw it and they thought of us. So they arranged for it to be picked up and dropped off, which is amazing.
Wow, how nice was that?
You need more friends like that.
I know. It's like my own private street team of lookouts. But we're going to end up painting that and using it as a display piece for some cool surprises.
Beautiful. I love the quotes, Andrew. They're really, really nice to see them. That's a great touch.
Well, I think in a classroom setting especially, it's always nice to feel encouraged and motivated. So around here, we don't just sell beads. We sell different things like incense. So we've got incense and Palo Santo, which is kind of a stick that you burn like incense.
Sarah, I just bought you some Palo Santo.
Yeah, I just got that in the mail.
Nice.
I think it smells so pretty.
Does it? I haven't done it yet. Kristen sent me the most beautiful candle holder and Palo Santo, I guess. I didn't know what it was.
I wasn't sure if you knew what it was. That's why
no, I didn't.
You just got some.
So this is very educational on top of things. Yeah.
Nice. You're like, this stick that smells good.
Yeah. It's like, oh, okay. I'll figure out what this is later.
That Kristen.
That Kristen.
What is she sending me?
That's nice, though. That's a thoughtful gift. So it's kind of like sage. It kind of clears the area and kind of creates a kind of calm, peaceful setting. Plus, it smells good. So that's that Roman glass that I had mentioned, and we have hanks of it, which
so
is
yummy,
pretty wild. So pretty. Yeah, and then one of really beautiful.
Our new developments is that we started carrying Junk Monkey paint. So if you're not familiar with Junk Monkey paint, it's started by a woman and her husband named Sonia and Matt, and they they had a shop here in Ligonier, and I got stuff to paint furniture for the store last year, and we became friends, and their business has just exploded, so they can't keep a retail space. Plus, they bought this beautiful home 2.5 hours away. So it's a little bit of a hike for them. So we started carrying all of their products. And I just love it. It's a mineralized chalk paint that sticks to just about almost anything. And it's just a really wonderful product that we use. So we love to support Sonia and Matt and their growing business.
How cool.
So, yeah. So I'm going to be doing tests with it and trying to do and think of different jewelry applications. So that'll be fun. But yeah,
that is fun. You know, Kristen does a lot of painting. I don't know if you noticed the paintings behind her when she's on here.
Oh, nice. So this is, what do you paint with?
Right now I paint with acrylic and watercolor, but I'm intrigued by some natural earth pigments, and I think that's going to be the next thing I explore. So looking forward to trying that.
Yeah, there's some really great ones. Now, do you know Daniel Smith?
I do. I don't have any of her paints, but I hear wonderful thing about her paints. So someday I should give them a try.
Yeah, they're great. So here we've got some of the stones, and we've got different mineral specimens. We also have scarves in case you're chilly in this 98-degree weather.
It's so much bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Well, we moved into the bigger space. The other space was probably half the size of this. And we had maybe not all the stuff we have now, but we had a lot in there. And we kind of had to, it was packed to the gills. So this is some of my artwork. I paint with acrylics and mixed media. And yeah, so those are some of my paintings.
Those are fabulous.
Thanks. And then
Andrew, I think you just did a mermaid collection, I believe, where you worked on some mermaids and mermen for the month of May. Is that right?
That's correct. And here's some of them. It was really fun.
I love
it. Speaking of the pandemic, which we're always kind of talking about right now, it was nice to establish a project and give myself a little bit of structure. I feel like those kinds of prompts kind of give you a little bit of direction when things might seem a little hopeless or if you feel out of sorts. So that's why I really love the kits and the challenges, because they are a great way to, get your creative juices flowing.
Yeah, I think we all need a little inspiration from time to time, especially right now with everything that's going on in the world. Sometimes it can be a little challenging to be a creative human being.
It's really overwhelming. And I feel like a lot of people, they don't necessarily always value the creative process, but it's one of those things that when you look back on history, you can see that, you look at the artwork of that culture, and you see how artwork has healed so many people, and is a marker of a time and civilization. And so I think it's a really important thing to stay creative.
Yeah, I agree.
Sure.
I always talk about how beading's so amazing because it's like something that people do all over the world. But I guess you can think about it. I mean, I think about it in those terms because I'm a beader, but you can think about art in general is something that people do all over the world that kind of brings us all together.
So you're getting a lot of love on the comments for your space, Andrew. You've got, oh my, that's gorgeous, loving the masks. Let's see if I can scroll down here. I know there's a bunch more. So nice. Love refurbishing furniture. Want to go live there.
You should.
I want to go live there. I want to go live there.
15,001.
Nile is here. Hi, Nile.
Oh,
and he's saying he loves the variety of items that you guys carry, and it's top quality too. MJ needs that. The Roman glass is gorgeous. Lovely paintings. Your shop is so cozy. Andrew, your paintings are amazing. Really a lot of love for the space and your work. So thanks for the tour, Andrew. That was a lot of fun.
Well, thanks for letting me show you around.
So I have something kind of special to show that Andrew sent to me, and I assume these are for sale on your website, Andrew. Is that right?
Those are, and they do a nice tie-in to the current issue of Beadwork magazine.
Oh, really?
If you turn to page 6.
Show us.
There's a nice little...
Oh, look at that, a little blurb.
Yeah. Woohoo!
Awesome.
Wonderful. Yeah. Ooh, I'm excited to see.
Yeah, so tell us how you are making these beautiful little pendants, and then I will go through and show each one of them.
Oh, nice. Okay, so they are all hand-drawn. I'm very analog in that way. And so I have a sketchbook, and I draw out designs. And these are the cut ones that you have. And those are available online. They're at allegorygallery.com in the online store section. And so once I take and have those drawings, we photograph them in high resolution, which with these, it's not as important as the engraved ones, but it is good to have a good quality picture anyways. So we have those in a photo, and then I tweak them in Photoshop and convert them to vectors in Adobe Illustrator. And then we take those files and we put them in our laser, and those are all cut out of walnut plywood.
Wow. So I'm going to show a few up close so you guys can get a good idea of how awesome these are. This one looks like it might be like a wolf, I guess.
Or nondescript canine.
Yeah, or a fox, or
whatever you want it to be.
Sweet little animal. We've got a beautiful tree. Look at how awesome that is. We've got a bird. And these are all your drawings.
Yes, actually the bird, the one that you just showed, is a swallow, and that's actually done off of a photograph I took. So I took the photograph and I turned it black and white, and then I kind of traced the outlines, and that's how. Yeah.
We've got a horse, a wild horse.
Yeah.
And a mermaid, which my girls are probably going to fight over if I get to keep these.
You can keep all of them.
Oh, thank you. I'll have to find one.
Thunderdome begin.
Yeah. I know. One of anything around here is really challenging. I really have to have like two of everything. Maybe I can talk one into like this beautiful star pendant or the butterfly. So do you think these can be painted as well?
Definitely. So
you're making these your own.
I love the stars. Oh, the stars was really sweet.
The stars
They're
are
all
really
great.
good.
So it's a really, they can stand alone as they are, or they're a great blank canvas. So I would recommend, since there's a plasticizer in the plywood, that you use a kind of a paint that will stick. So if you happen to have junk monkey paint and want a chalky finish, there you go. But in a more jewelry application that's already ready to go, vintage patina paints stick really well. If you do other paints, you might have to scuff up the surface a little bit with a fine grit sandpaper. And that's just so that there's a tooth for the paint to kind of dig its little teeth into. Otherwise, you can kind of scratch it off. So,
Kristen, I'll send you a couple of these and you can play around with them and do some paint on them.
Nice.
Oh, that's exciting. I'll let your girls pick first.
There you go.
Or you can pick first and they can
No,
pick
that's
last.
okay.
They're going to battle it out in the Ayler household. And
oh, yeah. I'll put them in the bouncy house. They can fight it out in there.
Oh, good.
So many more uses for that bouncy house.
I know. We just got a bouncy house for them, and it's like the most best investment I've made all year long.
Oh, good.
Look at this beautiful bunny, and then we've got a little paw print. And look at all these fun, awesome shapes.
Thanks.
I love it. So these are really cool. You can find these on the website, which is allegorygallery.com. I assume that's where you're also going to be able to find Andrew's picks every week.
Yes.
So you can go there for that too.
Yes. So you'll be able to find my picks there. You'll also find some of the special things that we come across in our travels, which we're not really traveling right now, but, previous travels. So, yeah, it's pretty fun.
Kristen, did anyone have any questions about the pendants before we move along?
The only question I had was, where can you get them? But you did cover that, and I just linked to the Allegory Gallery Facebook page as well as the website once again.
Awesome.
Rosanna had a great idea. She can see putting colored resin inside of the pendants, which would be a lot of fun.
Interesting.
And
like a faux plique-jour.
Yes, that would be really fantastic. A few people have said they have some, and I asked them if they make some jewelry with it, or if they have made some jewelry, to share it in our VIB group so we can see and enjoy.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. So that's about it. So you can take it away. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So we, in exchange, sent Andrew our latest kit, our latest design kit. So Andrew was going to open that up and look at it. And in the meantime, I think I'm going to make something using the beads from the design kit that I have and one of his lovely pendants here. So I'm going to go mute and start putting something together. And Andrew, you go ahead and open up what you have there and take a look at it and see if you feel like making something or not. I'll leave it up to you.
I'll do it.
Okay. Take the challenge.
So you're going mute. Does that mean I have to talk a lot?
Kristen can talk with you.
Okay.
Yeah, I can talk. It's just that, yeah. Every time Sarah makes a noise over there, it'll switch back to her. So she wants. They can't
see me. Yeah, or see you. Right. Yeah.
Well, I guess I can hold this up while I'm unwrapping it. This is like the most awkward. I wore our new shirts that we're selling on the website.
Perfectly.
Because I saw the email that it was the purple.
Oh, you're like me, Andrew. I always try and match what I'm working on that day on the video.
Usually in our household, it's like sweatpants and whatever hoopty shirt, painting shirt that looks like I got in a fight with a dog or something. But since I'm here today, I might as well make the effort, right?
Well, that's what I was saying. Since I work from home and I have for so long, I'm usually in pajamas. And it's only the days where I do videos that I actually have to think about what I'm putting on. So why not match what I'm making?
Although if I keep having you do videos 2 or 3 times a week, you may change your mind.
I know. Seriously. It's wearing me out. No.
Just make a uniform like Steve Jobs. And then you can kind of,
right? I have a few friends that do that. I have a friend that is just always in the same thing, black pants, white shirt. And it's interesting. He just like doesn't have to think about it.
That's the nice thing about these shirts when I come to work, is because I only work 1 day a week at the shop. I work mostly from home. And so it is nice. I don't have to think or rush around. I already know what I'm going to wear, if it's clean or not. Because the old times, it was like, frantically running around before. So I'm thinking this is check glass.
It's check
These
glass.
Little shells. And more check glass.
You got it.
The little dimples on that. The little cuties. And this fire polish check glass.
Yep.
You're like,
Yep, all check glass.
You have a nice assortment of check glass.
I'd be like, let's make it easy for you. That's all check glass. All right. And of course, the soft wax, not check glass. A nice little selection of findings and coordinating crimp tubes, which is super useful.
Yeah, that's one of our newest metal tones. It's a sterling crimp tube that's been blackened. And so it matches anything gunmetal and all that kind of stuff.
And I love that these are sterling because one of the repairs that I do the most are when people use base metal crimp tubes and they just break. So these ones are nice and sturdy. So I always suggest either using the sterling silver or copper or harder metal, which is convenient because it's on your website and they color coordinate. So that's awesome.
Yes. Yeah, we're working on coordinating all of our findings a little bit more than we have in the past. So that's really a nice addition.
Well, my kind of, in our store, it's kind of, we just find what we find and it's kind of an array. And sometimes we have like a rolling stock of regular items that we reorder. But it's kind of like, well, the odds are ever in your favor. It's like, if you find it, you find it. If you don't, well, I guess go on Softworks'
Better luck next
website.
time.
But it's very dependent on what we find when we go to the shows. I used to go to shows probably once a month. And I would go to mostly the big wholesale shows. And they're in these really unusual places that maybe you wouldn't have thought of, like Franklin, North Carolina, or Spruce Pines, North Carolina. So they're in these little towns that you're like, how did a big show with hundreds of vendors end up here? And a lot of that is funny because it ties into where the actual minerals are mined. So
that makes sense. Yeah.
So like the Tucson show is like that too. So this is a little good grab bag of goodies.
Yeah. Is that the Jesse James Beads one? We do a little mix with them, and it looks like it. There's sort of tassels in there and all sorts of little beads.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so there's good... Go ahead.
I was going to say we just partner with them each month that they give us a little mini kit to go with our theme that we're working on. So it's always a nice surprise and mix of the small beads, glass, tassels, bead caps, little findings and things like that in there.
Yeah. There's some crystal and tassels and yeah, that's a fun mix. All right. And then this little thing of bugles. They look vintage,
Bugles.
but nice.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's a coupon that comes in with it, and it tells you all about actually what's in the. That's helpful.
See all the contents list, and then we separate it because some of the stuff we just curate strictly for the kit, and we don't sell. And then other things you can find, like our wire and our findings, and sometimes we'll bring in a few beads specifically to sell online. So when you look at the contents list, you'll see the top is stuff you can buy from us, and the bottom part is stuff that we just curated specifically for the kit, and it's a one-time deal.
Nice. That's super good. So, yeah, so I'm excited. This is going to be fun. Oh, and there's a thing of, I'm guessing, memory wire.
Yeah, that is memory wire.
I love memory wire.
Oh, Kimberly says she loves those little towns in North Carolina. And M. Jane says she went on a mining trip once when she was a teenager to Little Switzerland, and it felt like she was in a time warp.
That
sounds like an awesome trip.
Yeah, it's this tiny little town, and there are these red elk that are in Little Switzerland. So you can go there and see them, and I don't know if you're lucky, like climb on one and ride it or something. I don't know. That's what I think.
You have to be really lucky.
Well, we used to live out on 90 acres, and there were always these deer that would come up in our yard. And now we don't live there, but I always think about wouldn't it be nice if I could like become friends, and then I'd like ride around the yard on the deer.
That would be interesting.
And then William's like, you could try. I don't think it works like that. Hopefully you don't get like bucked in the teeth or something.
I'll have to look into Little Switzerland whenever I make my trip. I have some family in North Carolina that I've been wanting to visit. Someday I'll get there when we can travel again.
Oh yeah. Well, my family from Green Girl Studios. I don't know if I mentioned that they're a metalsmith-based company out of Asheville, North Carolina, and my sister Cynthia and her husband Greg. They own and operate that business. They're in Asheville, so that's how when I go down to those shows, I go and visit with them.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I've actually looked at properties in Asheville to live there because when I was looking at places to rent, I realized like they all come with art studios, and this is where I need to be. Like, every house has an art studio.
Wow.
What's going on? So yeah,
that is
someday.
Nice.
It's a beautiful area.
Maybe not compared to California, but compared to Ligonier prices, Asheville is much more expensive. And it didn't always used to be like that. It used to be a more kind of mid-range affordable place. But as it's becoming a real destination, the prices have gone up. So when we were kind of looking around, we put in our price budget, and these like burned out trailers that were like an hour away came up. And I was like, looks like we're staying in Ligonier.
Guess you couldn't afford the art studio, huh?
Maybe like a corner of it.
Yeah.
Maybe just the art studio.
Just the art studio. That's what I was
here in California, I definitely don't have an art studio, and I paid the high prices. But I'm paying for the good weather, so that's the trade-off.
Yes, that's one of my other favorite shows is the Oakland show, which is really fun.
I know. I'm going to miss that this year because that's my chance to kind of see some people since it's so close to us. No shows this year. It's going to be a weird year for sure. So I went ahead and put something together. Andrew, if you want to mute yourself, you can kind of play with the beads while I'm working on this, and that'll give you a chance to just kind of
make something.
Yeah.
Do my job.
Thank you for playing along.
Sarah puts us all to work.
Yeah, it's true. In a live video, usually.
Keep us all on track. We need that.
Yeah. So I picked Andrew's pendants. Of course, they're all lovely, but since I'm using the purple polka dot design kit, I decided that I would do the stars and that would be a really nice mixture, although I'm sure Kristen was hoping that this would be her pendant.
I did say I like that one.
I know, but it's the one I liked the best for this.
I know.
Particular
That's okay.
design.
There's so many.
There's lots of other ones.
Beautiful too. Yeah,
for sure. So I picked the little star pendant. I think I would probably love to play around with the patina, especially if you can use the vintage patina on it. I think that could be really fun when you're doing kind of a purple based color here, but it's really pretty just as it is too. I mean, it's really a gorgeous pendant, and I really don't mind it, even though the brown and the purple are not necessarily colors I would normally like associate together. I think it turned out good. So I used a mixture of beads from my purple polka dot design kit. We are sold out on the purple polka dot design kits, but we're selling our kit for next month, which is our Serenity Shore. We're almost sold out on this kit. I think last time I looked, what are we at?
85% sold
this
out
morning.
When I just looked. Yeah.
Yeah. We're 85% sold out on it. So it's selling pretty fast. I would be surprised if it's around for very much longer. So if you meant to get one, definitely do get one as soon as possible. And we will reveal that kit on the last Wednesday of July. And then you're opened up to post your designs from the kit in our VIB group. Right now, you can go into our VIB group and see all the designs that our viewers are posting using the purple polka dot design kit, which is super fun. There's a lot of really, really smart things being done with the kit. And everybody has a different use for it and shows it in a different way. So it's a lot of fun to see what tons of different people are making using the same kit. And then we're almost sold out on the complimentary strand as well. We had a different one that we started the week with. Last week, we sold out of it. So we popped in bead strand 2, and we're giving it away with orders over $55 on the website through today. Tomorrow, our promotion changes. So if you wanted to get this bead strand for free, you need to make your purchase today at softflexcompany.com. And you can pick up your design kit at the same time. You can also just purchase the bead strand if you want. And we did do a little bit of a discount on it because the pearls in the bead strand arrived to us a little scuffed up. And so they're either free or you can get 10% off if you're purchasing them on the website. They're like $9.50 or something.
Yeah, they're $9.44. And there's only a handful left. And actually, once they're sold out, that offer will no longer, apply on the cart. So if you spend $55 and you're a retailer or a designer, you'll automatically get that bead strand placed in your cart for $0. If all of a sudden you see that's not being added, we probably sold out of it. So just a heads up, because there's not that many left. It does end tonight at midnight, so you can
or while
go
supplies last.
Yeah, or while supplies last. So if it goes, we just disappear with that bead strand goes before.
I mean, I got twice as many of these this time, and we still barely are making it through the week. So I guess those are very popular, and we need to be on top of getting more bead strands because that's obviously something you guys want.
I saw that, Rosanna. She said, I got the kit and I got 5 bead strands. One was free. So yeah, it was definitely a popular color. So yeah, what grabbed you guys this time? I mean, we went through so many in such a short period of time. It's only been not even 2 weeks, I think, right?
No, it was last Wednesday.
Yeah. Oh gosh, a week. So was it the color? Is it the beach theme? Like what about it did you just love? I'd love to know. Inquiring mind.
Yeah, good question. Good question. So I'm just going to go ahead and crimp this in place on the wire. I'm using the purple amethyst Softflex beading wire that came in the kit. It's our 0.019 inch diameter. And so it's a 49 strand stainless steel product with a beautiful purple color coating. And I am going to crimp on either side to hold my beads in place on the wire. So I'm just taking an extra little piece of wire here and stuffing it up into my Softflex crimp tube that also came in the kit. And I'm going to go ahead and crimp it in place. So I've got my magical crimpers, and I'm going to center my crimp tube inside of those magical crimpers and crimp. The first pass is going to give me what looks like a little 4-corner ravioli. I'm going to switch it on its side inside those same crimping pliers and crimp again. And then I'm just going to go around and around, tightening it down and rounding it into a bead. And then I can cut off my extra wire on either side. So I'm just going to slide my cutter in and cut off my extra. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side. I'm in love with this pendant. It's so pretty. I love that they're so unique too, that, you know, they're coming from Andrew's imagination.
Yeah, they're beautiful. I love the whimsy nature of the stars.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely both Andrew and Cynthia. You guys have a very whimsical, artistic nature about you. And I'm just going to come in and trim. And then I will just add a clasp on the back end. I'm going to do this Maker's Clasp from Tiara Cast, which you can find on our website. It's a sweet little hammered toggle. And I'm just going to add that onto the back end of my necklace. And then we'll check in with Andrew and see how he is doing in Pennsylvania and what he's thought up to make. So I've got my crimp tube.
So I'm getting some answers about the bead strand. Lee is saying that the color and the type of beads on that strand really got her. And Rosalinda said the colors. Rosanna says she just loves the bead strands. She tries to get 2 of each. Every time she hasn't, she wished that she had. I totally get that. It's always nice to have more. Right?
Better to have too much than not enough. Yeah.
Yep. And Susie says the color as well. So we definitely,
we got Lydia your color scheme.
Yeah. Lydia says Sarah sent Kristen the moon pendant. Oh, was there a moon one? Did I miss that?
Oh, well, is this one a moon? It looks like moons in a phase.
Yes. Oh, that's mine. Yeah.
Phases of the moon. Yep. You can have that one for sure.
That's the triple goddess moon. And Kimberly says the pendants are the perfect size. Thank you, Lydia.
They are
a good size. I didn't even realize that was there.
They are really good size.
Good looking out.
Yeah. They're always watching out for you, Kristen. So I went ahead and double backed into my crimp tube. I'm attaching my toggle bar, and I'm just going to go ahead and crimp. You could, of course, speed up the back of your necklace, but as most of you know that watch me regularly, I like to savor my beads and just use a few in the front and let the Softflex run up the back. Snowflex is hypoallergenic, so it feels really nice on your skin. It's a really nice product, and you can save money on beads by just using them up front, party up front, business in the back. So I'm gonna just measure out my length. So I have about the same length on each side. And I'm not precise almost ever, but close. And I'll go ahead and attach my toggle, and then we'll check back in. Andrew, how are you doing over there in Pennsylvania? Are you able to unmute yourself?
Yes.
There he is.
Designing on the fly is fun.
Oh yeah, exciting, right?
You know, you get a little bit of sweat on the brow.
Yeah.
When there's pressure.
Wakes you up.
I'm telling you, I have to keep a little towel next to me when I do it, honestly.
You do? That's funny.
I do.
I'm so sweaty.
Yeah.
This is our exercise for the day.
I guess that counts.
Well, I love how this turned out. I'm going to bring it up close so you guys can get a better look at it as a finished piece. I'll take a picture of it and post it on Instagram. And then I will post it in our BIB Facebook group. And then I'll probably post it or send it to Andrew to post in his Facebook groups too. So you can take a look.
I love it. I was going to add too, when you don't put the beads all the way up the back, if you're using, heavier beads, you're making the necklace a little lighter in that sense also.
Yeah. And these are light enough. These pendants could actually be earrings. Just an FYI.
No way. Really?
Yeah, they're really light. So you could definitely do a pair of them and make earrings.
So something that's important to note, which works perfect with your design, is that since it is, the wood is lightweight, you want your front of your piece to be heavier because since it is lighter, if you have something that's equally weighted around it, it can kind of inch up. So it's one of those things where you have to kind of think design challenge wise, in that it's a lighter piece.
At the weight.
Yeah. So if you're working with that piece and it's not kind of that kind of similar design where it's weighted to the front, you could add little dangles, add a jump ring to the bottom star, and add some little dingle dangles to that to add a little bit of extra weight. You can also stack the pendants with filigree or another material that's kind of got that same kind of silhouette, so it just peeks out. Just use a slightly bigger jump ring as a point of attachment. And there's a lot of different ways that you can play around with it so that, so it stays where you want it to stay.
Yeah, you could do a bigger piece down here in front for sure and just attach to the pendant at the bottom. And that would be really, really fun to work with. Like an even larger tassel probably would make sense, but a nice tassel or something down here would be fun to work with.
Very cute. Lori is just asking when our next live sale is. I think that is the
next
7th.
Thursday.
Right?
Whatever date next Thursday is.
Next
We're having
Thursday.
it on Thursday rather than a Tuesday. It's from Mike's private collection, and it will have some of those Gary Wilson pieces that Mike and I went through, as well as some other things from his bead room. I mean, he has a lot of lamp work and a lot of just really unusual beads that he had collected over the years. So we will have a smattering of those things, whatever Rosa can process between now and then, basically.
So Thomas is it true?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Thomas is just saying we haven't even hit 115 yet. It's been a cool summer. It's nerves, Thomas. That's why I'm sweating. The pressure.
Thomas needs to do a live video challenge, then he'll understand.
Yes, then he'll understand.
What were you going to ask?
Go ahead, Andrew.
So is it true that they have a secret share collection in their house?
Well, I don't know if it's secret, but they are collectors of share items. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. We'll have to talk about it someday. There's some really interesting things.
There's some awesome things. There's some really cool things. Yeah.
Well, William is a big fan.
Oh, there you go. Sarah, you'll have to FaceTime with them one day.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, that's a whole other ball of wax. But yeah, they've got a lot of really interesting things besides beads, but their bead collection's pretty amazing.
Sherry is saying that she struggles with the clasp weight a lot, that they turn around and then her pendant gets lost in her collar. So I guess, Sherry, you need to work on making the front a little heavier, working on the weight of the front of your necklace so that it stays put.
Same with bracelets. It's always good to think about how your proportion is in your bracelet and which part you want to sit on the top of your wrist, because the weight is going to naturally want to fall to the bottom of your wrist. So if you put like a big lampwork bead on top, it's gonna shift and you're not going to see it as well. Are you the only one working there today, Andrew?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you're like doing a challenge and you have customers.
We're actually closed. We close at 4.
Oh, okay, good.
So with the time difference, it worked out perfect.
Okay, good. Because I heard the ding dong go off, and I was worried that you were multitasking.
Like, hello, would you like to buy some beads? Here's my mask for fast action.
Nice.
And of course, Steelers to show my Western Pennsylvania pride. Do you want to see what I kind of strung together real quick?
Yeah, I would love to see it. And then will you take a picture of it for me later when you get a chance?
Sure. So this is...
Ooh.
Yeah. And we got this industrial felt, and everybody asks about it. And we had to special order it from Germany. And I should make that a business now.
Yeah, you should make bead mats out of it.
Yeah. Go into competition. So it's really simple, but I just put a pendant with some of the check glass. And I might, whenever I go, I might restring it and put little spacers in between, because that's just what I do for more of my style.
Yeah, I get it.
And
it looks great.
So I think that's what I've got so far. And I might add a little bit of this texture maybe at the top or something, like work it in there so that there's a little bit of, I don't know if you can see it, but it'll be a little bit of softness.
Yeah, I like that.
A deer. Of course it's a deer. You were dreaming about writing one.
Yes. My dear friend. But we have hundreds
It's
of
really
designs.
pretty. You're getting a lot of beautiful, Andrew. Very pretty.
Oh, show us more of the designs, Andrew. I want to see those.
Yeah. Okay. And Sherry needs some good bead mats.
From Germany.
Okay, let's mute Kristen so that he can show us the designs.
Okay, so these are more of the engraved ones. Like this is one of my the Stingray Man of War and a Pegasus. And these are all done with my drawings that are in my sketchbook. And we've got a jellyfish and a sugar skull. And this is one of my favorites. It's a big piece. It's a big focal piece. And it says "Fly Bravely," and it's a bird girl, and she's got her little aviator helmet on. And here's one, a dragon. That's a big Mr. T style pendant. So that. A little bit of a lover's eye right there. But so there's ones that are more detailed, and they're larger. But those are all my original drawings. And then we have more simple ones that are kind of like the other ones that are like cutouts. And then we also collaborate with other artists. So my sister Cynthia, who we mentioned, she did some drawings, and there's a koi fish pond, an owl, a bunny rabbit. And these are on maple. So you can see the difference between the walnut and the maple and the cherry. So there's a little bit of a difference to the hues of the woods. And these are kind of an eye point. And then speaking of the Bay Area, there's a really cute little town called Montera. And when we go out to the San Francisco, we'll stay there. And there's these amazing tide pools around there. So this was actually taken from a drawing that she did while we were in the Bay Area. And then
these are all so great, Andrew. They're so beautiful. I'm just being quiet so that it can zoom in on you. I'm not being silent because I don't love them.
Well, I appreciate that. So this is a piece by Christi Friesen. She's living her best life in Hawaii right now. And I think she's on Maui. But she has a fun, whimsical style too.
Will you stop bringing up Hawaii?
I'm over here going, yeah. Mm-hmm. No, they are just absolutely stunning. I love that the girl with the wings, they showed the huge one. Oh, just beautiful. Somebody is asking, let's see, can we see the disselfink?
I don't know if I know what that means.
I don't know what that means either. What does that mean, M. Jane?
This is a Derpa coin.
Maybe that's what she meant.
I don't know, but
and then how would people go about buying these? Are these all on your website, or should they contact you through email?
No, they are not all on our website because we have been focusing mostly on the cutouts. But if you would like some, we can always, we're happy to invoice and take pictures and send descriptions. And then we'll also have a revolving stock of them, of different designs, depending on the seasons and what kind of seems to be trending at the moment. So yeah. And then one of my favorite things is I love writing and I love words. And so these ones are all different quotes. So this one is Alan Turing one. And he's the one who kind of developed computers, which is fun. And then we've got a Toni Morrison one. Beauty was not simply something to behold. It was something one could do. And I always try to pick different quotes that kind of resonate with me. Here's a Virginia Woolf one. You cannot find peace by avoiding life, which is kind of perfect for the times that we live in. And I also like quotes from people that you may not necessarily know, but they're important nonetheless. So this one is a Bessie Smith one, and it says, "I don't want no drummer, I set the tempo." And she was a famous musician.
I love celebrating wise words. It's so nice.
Yeah. And also for us, we get to, I don't know if you saw a common thread through the ones I just showed, but all of those were all LGBT artists and writers and musicians. So I think it's important when you have an ability to share your platform that you take advantage of that opportunity and speak your truth and promote equality and kindness.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
Beautiful. Beautiful,
so this
Andrew.
one is a Walt Whitman one, and it says, resist much, obey little. Again, so timely.
It really is.
And then, of course, Mr. Rogers, who was not a part of the community, but he was definitely somebody who preached love and neighborliness. And it says, you don't have to do anything sensational for people to love you. And we just have trays and trays of these different designs.
So MJ was saying that I guess it was the two birds she was talking about, the disselfink in one of the trays. I don't know. I've never heard that before.
This one. This is a Pennsylvania Dutch hex symbol. And those are the bluebirds of happiness. So if you are in Pennsylvania, you will see on barns and different things like that, you'll see motifs. And they're painted and hung on those buildings. And they do all different sorts of things like protect your barn from lightning strikes and make happiness in a marriage or all kinds of stuff. And then
very cool.
One of my other favorites is, like I said, I love words and writing. So there are different colloquial kind of sayings from around the country that I've kind of collected. And from our area, this is red up, which is like you have to ready up your room, or nebby, which means
what
you're
does
nosy.
That mean?
That you're nosy, and or
that's
this
me.
one.
I need that one.
Or slippy. It's like slippery.
I see.
And that, which is like go get the car and that. And then
what?
Like and all that kind of a thing, like and that.
Pretty much.
Funny.
Huh.
So there are stores which is like 99 cents and that. But this
That's
is Jagger
funny.
Bush. And that's like if you have a sharp bush that is going to be jagged. And we all, whenever I do a show, let me flip this around. Whenever I do a show, I collect these things. So I did a show at the Minnesota State Fair. And so there are all kinds of like witches and all kinds of stuff like that. Hot dish and then there's some for Hawaii.
Oh, really? Yeah, there's a lot in Hawaii. It's like a whole different language there.
Yes. And so
I'm going to have to immerse myself somehow in Hawaii after this week.
I'm going to have to send her a plane ticket to Hawaii by the end of this conversation.
She'd be like, it's a pandemic, sorry.
Yeah, you can't go.
They have a 14-day quarantine.
You.
Oh, wow. Maybe next time.
Getting a lot of love for those, Andrew. Love them all. They are great to paint with the vintage paints as well as using a heat gun. Also fun to decoupage. Huh.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So with the vintage patinas.
That would be really nice because they would kind of like stain almost in there, wouldn't they? Or do they lay on top?
So with the patina paints, if you use a heat gun, you'll set it, and that will make it super durable. It's kind of durable just as a paint straight out of the tube, but when you heat set it with a heat gun or even an oven, that's when it really locks in place. And with decoupage, you can you could use like a Mod Podge or a resin. So there's all different options for that. There's some fun things.
That's exciting.
We did one with absorbent ground, which they take fine particles and they mix it up with a primer base. And then I do a technique with salt, and which I do on my paintings, where you take a little bit of acrylic and water and you wet the surface. and then you sprinkle salt on it, and it gets kind of a mottled kind of starbursty pattern. And that's what I do with a lot of my paintings. So yeah, but they make a really great base for other materials too. And so you can use like a stiff modeling paste and kind of build up texture and mix things in. You can glue stuff on. At the risk of sounding like that character in Forrest Gump, you know.
It's like a million different things you can do.
You can paint them. You can decoupage them. You can, you can spray paint them. You can.
I was just gonna say, yeah. Donna said, didn't someone use oil pastels and then spray it with clear Krylon to set it? So that's another possibility. That would be kind of fun,
pencils.
I think. Colored pencils. Ooh. Yeah, we could just keep going.
Yeah.
Very exciting. Well, I'm so glad that we chose you as our first guest. You made this super easy on us. And I'm going to go to the drawing board and plan some more of these, because I learned a lot. I'm sure all the viewers out there probably learned a lot. And it was a whole lot of fun. So thank you so much for being here with us today, Andrew. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to play with this beautiful kit and share with all of your customers and loyal followers. And it's a really beautiful thing to see both of you.
Yeah, I know. It's just nice to see your face. It's really like, I feel my heart is warmed. I've been doing this with Kristen every once in a while, and that's been nice in itself because I don't get to see Kristen enough, but it kind of gives me hope. Like, if I can do this with more of my beading friends, I feel like it will bridge the gap between now and when we all get to see each other again. I'm excited about this.
So much fun. We've had a lot of interaction. Nikki says, "Oh yes, please. It was great." And M. Jane says, "Very nice to meet you, Andrew. Everyone really enjoyed our chat today, as did I. Thank you."
Well, he's a beading genius. So if you want to learn more, you can check him out on their Facebook page for Allegory Gallery. You can also go to their website, which is allegorygallery.com. And then, of course, you can find Kristen and I here on a regular basis, more often than Kristen probably wants to be. On Facebook and then on our YouTube channel. And then you can find everything we talked about from the Softflex portion of this video on our website, which is softflexcompany.com. So I'm going to go ahead and go disconnect everything. Kristen, if you want to do a little finishing touch here, I'll flip down.
Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, this has been really a lot of fun. And I didn't have to beat this time. I got to just sort of host and field comments and questions. That was exciting. I enjoyed being in a different role. Thanks, Andrew.
My pleasure. I'll come back anytime.
I didn't have to sweat as much as usual.
Break the towel out. Here in Western Pennsylvania, it's called the terrible towel, and you wave
it around. See, I have this little guy always here. Doesn't matter how cool it is. I can have the fan on me. It's just nerves. I don't know why I get nervous. I love all you guys. I know you love me.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for the chat today, Andrew, and we look forward to seeing your final design and a photograph later.
Nice.
Perfect.
Well, thanks again for having me, and
bye,
best wishes.
Bye.
Stay safe out there.